So what do we make of this D'Angelo Hall comments about Trent Williams saying that he could end his holdout sooner rather than later? It's a little vague. Ian Rappaport also had a report that
he just
Trent
reported
could
on
come
what
back.
he just reported on what D'Angelo said. I'll take D'Angelo at his word. D'Angelo talked to him, so I'll take it from the horse's mouth that obviously it sounds like he doesn't want to miss checks.
Yeah, I thought he'd be there
Didn't
for
we
week
say
one.
this
That's
about
looking unlikely.
6 weeks ago?
Yeah,
that's looking unlikely, but he might be there for week 2 or week 3 because he wants those game checks. He doesn't want to punt away $600+ per week.
I mean, that's so much.
Nobody does. Now, Le'Veon Bell did it last year.
It's dumb money.
And, he basically squandered and punted away $13 million that he'll never make up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I don't think Trent's willing to do that.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see some cracks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The money always is a factor. All right. So the medical issues, I'm sure, was a factor, but money trumps the medical issue.
Do you believe the part that D. Hall reports where allegedly, I don't have any reason to doubt D, but just who knows if it's actually true, that Bruce went to him and said, who do you want me to fire? And I'll fire him. And Trent supposedly said, no, I don't want to see anybody lose their job.
Oh, is that what he said? I didn't see that.
That's what D said on his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think he does that with Aaron Hawksworth. But I'm sure that's what was told to D.
Well, they need him. They need him, I think, desperately.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bruce had no problem just walking in and lopping somebody's head off, especially if it brought back
their
Trent
left
Williams.
tackle.
Yes.
By the way, I was watching.
But by the way, he doesn't say it's definitely happening in week 2. If you look at the quotes, he says, it could be week 2. It could be week 8.
Yeah, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You said sooner rather than later. Yeah.
That equates to he wants the game checks.
What's the point of coming back in week 8?
Well,
I think
you
you get your
that year.
service.
If you've missed the entire year, well, okay, that's true. But if you've waited 8 games, you might as well just sit out the whole year.
But they want that accrued year, though.
I get it. I still think he's going to come back inside of week 3.
Well, there could be
maybe even Sunday.
No one wants to talk about it, but there could be a detox period that could be going on before he comes back too.
Hey, so I was channel surfing last night, and I stumbled across Sports Talk, which was on Channel 8. That's Channel 8 on my DirecTV, which is ABC, the local ABC.
Right.
Scott Abraham. And he had another guy on, and they were talking about those issues. They were talking about the Trent Williams issue and D. Hall's comments. And then they also talked about the fact that the Junkies brought up a source that said that Adrian Peterson was one of those guys that they really argued about in the cut room. And they played our audio, and they threw it out to callers, and they talked about it amongst themselves.
On whose show? Scott Abraham?
Sports Talk.
Sports Talk, yeah.
I don't
it's
know.
It's not called News Channel 8 anymore. Glenn Harris's old show.
Gotcha.
The show which often features Adam Epstein.
That's correct.
Scott Abraham hosts that show. And
they rotate. I think it's Burton and
Burton does it too. But they played our clips and they brought up that topic and people called in. So
were people upset? A lot of people upset on Twitter.
A lot of Redskins fans super venomous about why are you bringing this up? You guys always like to drag the team through the mud
because we were talking.
You guys are always negative about the team
because Gruden came out and said that it's basically Geis's team,
right?
In terms of the run game, and he's going to be the starter, and that's why we brought up AP.
And think about it. Well, also because it was just information that came to us.
Yes.
And I think it was newsworthy. And it's not because Jay or anybody thinks he sucks. It was just because there could be an attitude issue that they don't want to deal with.
Right. Why do you want him?
It's already been proven.
Why do you want him sulking on the sidelines and in your ear every series if he's not getting the touches that he wants?
I mean, think about it. Jay went out of his way. Nobody really asked him who was going to carry the load, who was going to be the primary. He went out of his way to set the tone and go public and say, yeah, it's going to go through Geis.
Right. It was a question about Pirine.
Yeah. It had nothing to do.
And then he just interjected.
He went out of his way to say,
P who?
Yeah. Geis going to be the guy. And by the way, they came out with their official updated depth chart yesterday, and Geis was listed as the number 1 back.
Right.
That didn't sit well with AP.
Right. I mean,
it's because, AP's got athletic arrogance. He was the lead back last year. Nothing has changed in his mind.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Except that there's a young stud that they drafted in the second round that they want to get a look at. They want to give him 15 to 18 carries and see if he can be the workhorse.
But in AP's mind, he hadn't lost the job. He didn't do anything to lose the job, right? what you're saying makes sense. They want to give the young guy who they drafted a shot. In AP's mind, though, he's probably thinking, well, don't I?
Probably, I'm just guessing on this, already causing headaches because of that. Because he know Geis is the number one. And anyway, I believe my source. I believe him 100% because he's given me other stuff before, and it's been true.
Right.
So all those guys, the Twitter monsters who want to call BS on it, whatever.
There's a lot of monsters out there. It's a good it's a good
Well,
word
to use. It's just each team has a loyal fan base that you just can't say anything that they think is negative.
Right.
They just can't. They don't want to hear it.
Right.
And it's not necessarily a negative thing. It's just an anecdote. It's not a negative.
I mean,
it's an anecdote.
It's not going to bring the team down.
No, it's just an anecdote.
What's going to bring the team down is lack of overall talent. That's what's going to bring the team down.
Well, I am trying to raise the flag of optimism. I think they have a shot to definitely surprise people because I can't remember the bar being much lower. I really can't remember. It's been a few years, but nobody has expectations for this team beyond 6 or 7 wins.
No.
That's the most optimistic you'll find. I mean, there might be a season ticket holder that thinks they might win 10, 11 games, but you don't hear any talking head. You don't read any preview or anybody who does this for a living has got the Skins, in the wild card or winning the division. Nobody.
But Trent Williams coming back would be a huge addition.
It'd be a big help.
Yep.
Although I think they'll scheme around it. They just won't be, as effective, obviously. But I think, you could scheme around it.